In fact, if you don't do that,
You guys don't deserve that
if
content.
you don't do that with your kick
demographic.
boxes floating in the hot tub, then you're dead to me.
Just CN2 on little rafts.
I have a bunch of.
Do you want to just? I'm so sweaty.
How do I make this my ringtone?
You're welcome. Hopefully not when I call you though. Make it like a
Only when you
business
call me.
Make it like a.
Only when you call me.
Bringing us in, baby.
Wait, we're starting?
Should you wait for Josh to get closed, or what's
No,
going on?
this is it. This is live. We're
That's how
recording.
Louis gonna get his views. No, I'm contributing.
Feed picks.
Maybe
Welcome to me. What's going on?
I don't know. You're
Ready?
not even here.
Come on, we're going. We're rolling.
Welcome to be with you, America's most headless horseman TCG podcast, where we discuss MetaZoo and a bunch of other card games. I am, of course, joined by the second least clothed man on the podcast, Josh.
Which is odd because I have a sweater on.
You didn't a second ago.
You're welcome.
And I am, of course, joined by the man who will be the crank, not the crank, but the crankiest, Louis DeGeorge.
And we are joined by perpetually drinking coffee George, who is actually on voice recording, not voice recording, but on audio only from his car driving.
I don't want anybody to worry. I am drinking coffee, and that's the absolute God's honest truth. I also have a 2-liter of Diet Mountain Dew next to me.
He is pretending to have better things to do than just this podcast, which is insane to me.
That's true.
Well, everybody, we've got a podcast for you today. We're going to talk about the big Magic the Gathering bans. That's going to be the bulk of the episode. We're also the bulk. Sorry, I meant that's going to be the jeweled lotus of the episode. We're also going to talk about Mystery Booster 2, Sorcery release, and Lorcana at GTS, and then we are going to have a debate about, I guess, MetaZoo, and then we're going to have a debate about an issue that George brought up about 3 minutes ago. So
yeah, the new secret sauce. New secret sauce unlocked.
Fellas, how much money did you lose this week?
Less than you.
You were my first thought, Louis. As a store owner, I was concerned.
I mean, yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
It's a rough banning, dude. Out of freaking nowhere, too.
On a left field. No, like, feelers. Not like, hey, we're thinking about doing this. Just slapped.
Banning your having Commander Masters last year and it being like this whole price thing, and then banning the card that is the flagship card of that set is absolute. It's insane. It's absolute. The only thing more insane is if they banned it like a month after release. But,
yeah, I mean,
That's what Magic does.
yeah.
Well, they show a little bit of restraint here. It wasn't an Omnath. It wasn't an Oko. It lasted, 2.5 years since original Commander Legends?
Yeah. I'm like honestly baffled by it. I think I don't know. I don't ever see those being. I mean, maybe I'm not involved enough at like the higher level of Commander games, but most people don't have those in every deck because they can't afford them and they don't want to play that fast. I am baffled by any bans in Commander. It's kind of like a thing that I don't fully understand. Like Rule 0 exists. We are supposed to be a casual format. I'm not sure why we need any of that kind of top down. I mean, I kind of get it. There's a couple cards like commanders that can go infinite on turn 0. I think those commanders should be banned. But like as far as like cards in the deck, I just don't really get it, to be honest.
So before we were designing cards for Commander bans made a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
When we started designing cards for Commander, it's...
Wait, wouldn't it be the opposite?
No, let Rule 0 take it over. Right? Because before the cards were designed in a way that could literally break Commander. Right? You have cards not designed for Commander that when played in a multiplayer format break the game. And like ban those cards because you can't play a game of Magic with them. Sure. Designing cards that are meant to be played, they don't break the game. That's where Rule 0 comes in. If they don't break the core function of the game, let your group decide if you want to play it. But I will push back on you and say we've entered an era of Magic where Everyone plays Commander. Pugs are more popular than ever, and not having some kind of pickup games.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
See? Look at you.
Oh my god.
You don't know what a pug is and you own a game store?
I do not know what a pug is.
Oh my god.
Validates my opinions on all of your game store.
Josh. Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
You know how hard it is for me to take Louis' side?
You don't know what a pug is?
Nobody but you knows what a pug is. I think it's a dog.
I don't
didn't think that it was a dog. I thought it was some. I don't know. I don't really know.
I thought it was going to be like. Do you guys remember pogs from back in the day, or was that after your time?
But when people are getting together, they need some kind of baseline of rules to go by because you're not a familiar pod all the time. So I understand making a base set of rules, but this is still crazy.
Isn't that? I'm sorry, but isn't that just rule 0? Like, and I get it. I know there's the guy in the comment that's gonna be like, this guy at my LGS, he never listens to rule 0. He just plays whatever he wants. Like, my rule to 0 to that is like, don't play with that guy. Well, just like, sorry, man.
Doesn't that go against everything the Commander stands for?
No.
Yeah, you can't play with him.
That guy needs somebody to tell him no in his life. He needs somebody to tell him the truth and say, hey, man,
plays too powerful of a deck.
It's the same guy that smells in the LGS. You got to tell him, hey, man, go put on some deodorant. You smell. It's the same guy, probably.
The guy that plays too good of a deck is the smelly guy in the LGS.
I mean, like, that conversation, if that guy refuses to abide by rule 0, then you have to have a conversation with them and be like, hey, man.
I'm at the game store. I only brought one deck. I didn't bring a ton of decks.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't get to play. Like, the baseline of rules is necessary. So, hey, I'm at least meeting a base criteria here to sit down and play with people I don't know. So that makes sense to me.
I don't agree with that. I think Commander is important because of that. Because I think Rule 0 is the important part of this.
Sure,
I do. I mean, it no longer exists.
Yep, that's why my video, George, this week was called "They Banned Rule 0."
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a huge deal and maybe a big mistake.
I could see that being true.
Like, decks should have, you should have the ability to play a Commander deck as strong or weak as your play group allows and increase too.
Well, and Josh, my answer to you about that guy who only brings one deck, like, I, for a couple weeks, forgot to switch out my Commander decks in my backpack, and I only had these 2 pretty powerful decks. And I still wanted to play. So I sat down to play and I said, hey guys, I'm playing the deck that I played last week. I know it's overpowered compared to us. I'm not going to play. If I draw a mana rock, I'm just not going to play it. It's just going to be a dead draw. So then I played those games, and if I drew my mana crypt or whatever it is, I just didn't play the card, and it was just a dead card in my hand. And I scaled my Commander game to not be oppressive and ugly because I have social skills and can stop myself from just
you also have years of rapport with the people you're playing with.
That's fair.
They probably all hate him though, Josh, in fairness.
I didn't say it was positive. I didn't say it was positive. No, if Commander is the primary format, which it is, it's by and far the primary format of Magic the Gathering. It's what makes Magic the biggest TCG on Earth. I understand the want to have some kind of baseline rule set. I still think this was a bad decision. I still think Rule 0 could cover this. Louis, exactly what you're saying. You could do without this ban, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guy at the Commander, hey, I'm new. I don't know. My deck's way too powerful. I could still be like, I don't know any of you, but I'm going to scale it back. Sorry, I'll bring a better deck or a different deck next time. You could still do that without these bans. I'm just telling you, I agree for the need of some kind of baseline set of you can do this, you can't do this because of Commander's reach.
Yeah. And like the power level thing gets harder the longer that Magic exists too, because the cards get better and better and better and better. And so like you do get to a point where Commander's not fun anymore because the card power's too much and there's not enough variance. And I agree with that. But I think that goes to like, that's why you have, like, I go back to the same thing. You have Rule 0. You just say, hey guys, we're playing with low power decks, or we're playing with, precons, or we're playing with whatever. And I think I think that's where I think it just doesn't make sense to have bannings this significant. 4 cards at once that are massive. Well, 3 of the cards that are massive,
cards.
massive staples in the format that have
Sure.
been around for for a long time. That they have been. I mean, Mana Crypt is. I was like blown away. I was like, absolutely. It is an iconic Magic the Gathering card. That's not it's not a reserved list kind of Mox card. It's not a power 9. It's not some sort. It's like one of the few old. It's like Soul Ring, right? Like it's an old Magic card that matters and is cool and is fun. And that sucks. That's the one that got me more than anything.
Think of if you just say Commander and it's one of the cards that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Ristic Study being another card. Soul Ring, obviously, we talked about. Like these cards just come to mind when you say Commander, and to out of nowhere invalidate that portion of collection. I'm actually like, Jeweled Lotus always felt, and this is from the outside looking in, not a big Commander guy. It felt hacky in the sense of like, look, we reprinted Black Lotus for Commander players. Like, ha ha ha. It always felt iffy, but man, Mana Crypt is the one. It just sticks in my craw. I don't get it.
Yeah. Jeweled Lotus, I mean, is not playable in any format now.
It's a dead card.
It is an art
Mana
card.
Crypt is it's not a dead card, but it's pretty close.
So Mana Crypt's a little different because people still like to collect. I'm talking mostly the book promo. I saw a couple people having that conversation of like, oh man, I always wanted to own this card. Now I'll wait till it crashes to pick it up, like that. But like, I don't know.
I've been following along. It really hasn't. The nice copies still holding pretty steady. I mean, they've come down a bit, but not done. Jeweled Lotus though.
Well, Lotus crashed to like $20 and is back up.
That's
to 40,
crazy.
It's back up to 45 already, and sellers canceled orders at 20, 25. Like, it's crazy.
It's. I mean, there's the conspiracy theory of like, they can't do this. The community backlash is too much. They're gonna reverse the ban. That ain't happening. I'm
not convinced of that. I'm not convinced you're right about that, Josh. I think this is something that I think this is going to be. I think it's going to be a big moment to figure out who has the actual power in Commander.
And that's why I don't think exactly what you just said is why I don't think they'll do it. You guys have made a good point, and I agree with you. Right? Rule 0 exists, so governing this format. Already a tall task, right? We say at least that's fair. Then if you invalidate your biggest move ever, people are gonna be like, well, we just don't need you ever. Then you're pointless.
Well, I don't think they do need Magic for the rules for Commander. I don't.
But Magic, George, Magic didn't do the banning. It's the rules committee. I don't know if you know those are different.
I do know that, but like I also know that like this seems suspicious.
And they also have admitted that they work hand in hand with one another. They're two different companies that work towards the same goal. They communicate these things to each other.
So this is interestingly where I think you will see it. Like I was telling people this week, my friends, I was like, listen, I said buy Mana Vault. Like the day my buddy Steve, the day it got banned, we were hanging out, and I was like, he was like, oh man, everyone's gonna be so pissed. I was like, yeah, dude, you got to look at the opposite side. Every time a card goes down, another card goes up. It's a pendulum, right? So like everybody who just took their Mana Crypt out of their deck is looking for something to replace that now with, and if they don't already have a Mana Vault, they're gonna go get the Mana Vault. They're gonna go get the Mana Vault. So that card spiked like 150% already. That card's way up.
The Mothman?
The Mana Vault, George. Turn the volume up.
It's ironic that Jeweled Lotus is a completely unplayable card, and you managed to name a deader card.
Tell that to Richard Garfield. All right, he gets it.
I think that's an important factor though. Like other cards go up, and I think the key though is that if competitive EDH, CEDH decides to break off into its own thing, which is what a lot of the CEDH community is advocating for. Basically, the CEDH community's response to this was nothing was broken. We like our powerful cards. The meta was diverse. The meta was fun. And you just threw this wrench into it because the casual players, and we want a separate thing. And if that happens, all these purchases of $30, jeweled lotuses and all that stuff are going to look really good. Other than the biggest kind of, in my opinion, negative impact of stuff like this is the proxy conversation, where people say, this is why we just use proxies. This is why we never buy cards. And like, I get it. Like, I get that perspective after things like this.
I don't know, man. This is wild because as someone who's used to play a ton of standard back when my money was tight, right? And then played a bunch of modern as soon as I could get into it, and then I've had cards banned, decks banned. It's like it feels bad, and there's a visceral reaction, there's anger, and then you bounce back. The difference here is that was based around the meta, going to tournaments, and yeah, you're playing for fun, but you're also playing like you're looking at meta decks. You're trying to your goal is to win. There's a deeper emotional connection here in Commander. So that's the difference. And so part of me is, and I was saying this to George when we were on the phone, part of me is like the meme where it's the pirate in the gallows with the noose around his neck looking at the other guy going like, oh, is this your first time? Like first time getting your whole deck banned? Like, but then the other part of me is like, it's different because of that emotional connection. So you could tell me a story where either the casual community or the CEDH community is like, nah, we're not following this. We like it too much. This is our stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like that might happen around like some kitchen table games where
will happen.
Yeah, that will happen around people who never step foot in an LGS. So, and that's a lot of people. I'm not downplaying the number of people that is. I would maybe argue 50% of people don't even play Commander at an LGS.
My favorite part of this podcast is when we throw out percentages because we all do it.
I mean, I would just take a stab at that.
At least
50% of people play Commander and never play in a game store.
And it's probably the most common way to play Magic outside of the game store by percentage.
Yeah.
Like there's no chance that 50% of people that play Pioneer are at the game store.
I think that group of people, there's people who don't even know this card was banned. There's people who have no clue. There's people who they're not part of that side of the community.
One a-hole in the play group like breaks the news and everyone's like, shut up, Steve. Like
we actually got an order for Dockside, which we haven't even talked about, but Dockside Extortionist also got banned. We got an order like the night before the banning, and then it got banned. And Joey was like, should we cancel the order? And I was like, I mean, not unless they asked for it, because we will always like,
yeah, of course.
Like it was an $80 card. $80 for a store is much different than $80 for a customer. Sure. But like, if you didn't ask for it, I'm not gonna not send you the card, right?
It's
like
much different, but also
that's actually against the terms of services to just cancel an order out for no reason. So we shipped it, and then I said, Joey, there's always that guy who like just doesn't know, has no clue. They just bought the card for their deck and they want to play it and they don't even care. And so like maybe it's that guy,
and that's
maybe we get an email when it shows up and say, hey, we want a refund, and we'll give them a refund.
It's wild that there's that guy because there's George. George knew about this ban around the same time you and I did, which is...
Do you know how big a ban has to be for me to know about it?
Yeah. So there's probably less of that guy, because if even George...
I would like the record reflect 2 weeks in a row, I'm on top of the TCG news. I want the record reflect 2 for 2, the last 2 weeks. You come to George, you get to the TCG news.
That's fair. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Crushing it. What do you think, though? Do we think that it's okay that the rules committee just does this stuff, or do we think that
this is crazy?
Like this specific event? No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Because everybody else previous has said the rules committee does nothing. Why do they even exist? And now they come out and they do something, and everyone's like, "No, go back to doing nothing." I don't know.
Like this.
I don't get why the rules committee does exist. I don't know why. I don't know why that's necessary to exist.
Yeah,
they shouldn't exist.
I'm on that side. I can't argue that. Like, I'm on that side.
I'm not.
So. Why? So, like, why does a casual format need any moderation?
Again, because there are certain cards that just that break the game. They break the format. When the format was created, also, the people who were Commander creators said they banned the reserve list. Because, like, we don't want this to be about the money in your pocket, right? They banned the Power 9. Sorry, not the reserve list, Power 9. Because we want this to be about playing Magic cards, not the money in your pocket. And like it's blown up past that. So from the format's inception, there's always been reasons to ban the cards, whether it's for what we want the format to be or for what it is now, for a baseline of rules for a community that's multiple tens of millions of people trying to gather in pockets across the world.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
See, I kind of lean towards an opposite approach where I'm like, if you want to play a Black Lotus in your commander deck and you want to be that guy at the LGS who shows up, everyone's going to want to play against you because everyone's going to want to beat the deck that has a Black Lotus and play the deck that has a Black Lotus. But I'm not going to want to play against you 18 times in a row. I'm going to want you to play something else. And I think that's the rule 0. But I do think that kind of thing needs to exist for CDH, where it's like these cards break the game to make it impossible to play.
We're going to get into the weeds because CEDH is an enigma to me.
Why?
Because
you always say that. I never understand that.
Because Magic the Gathering was a back and forth one-on-one competitive game.
Right.
Then we made Commander because there was a section of people that A, wanted to play more casually, and B, wanted to play with the cards that were not the powerhouses in these competitive formats. We wanted to find a home for other cards that we don't get to use all the time.
Those people didn't want to play competitively.
Right. And now that group of people is like, well, we want to play competitively. Well, there's you
it's a different group of people, Josh. Like back then, there were 16 people playing Commander in the judge tables in the back alley of the Magic Cons, and now there's a billion people playing Commander in Magic the Gathering. And anything,
which is why that's my whole point. For this, it's important to have a baseline of rules, because otherwise you get the guy who shows up with the $200,000 deck that's playing with a guy with precons. Like
Rule 0 solves that.
That assumes a level of communication before you meet this human.
Well, so does playing a TCG in person with somebody. That
is not true. That is whoa. I have played TCGs with people that I never knew their name.
Then you should ask them their name when they sit down at the table.
Yeah, and that's your first interaction.
Yeah.
And you have your deck already. There's no rule 0. There's no time for a rule 0 discussion there.
That's not how it works, though. You sit down, you're looking for people to play. Everybody sits down at the table. They say, hey, what power level are we playing? And you say, my deck's pretty powerful. I've got some mana crypts in it. I've got mana vault in it.
Decks and a large community.
And then somebody else says, I don't have a deck that powerful. Can you play something else? And they say, oh, yeah, I do have another deck. Or if not, then the guy says no, and you decide if you want to play with them or not.
To play like this is important to have this base. Hey, I have a card that fundamentally breaks Commander, but I think it's fun.
Like, in fairness, Josh, I think most Commander players have more than one deck. I would say 70% of people go to the store. I
wholeheartedly believe that.
And if you only have one deck, it's not the deck that is power level 13 that you're talking about.
I thought power level only goes up to 10, Bozo.
Not in West Virginia.
I say that every one of my decks is a power level 8. On that guy.
See, this is why, rule 0 exists. We talk about power levels, but then you got people like Louis that just lie every time.
I don't know. How do you judge it?
Exactly. You have a baseline set of rules. I don't know.
The point is that
there's no way that ChatGPT can't tell you your power level if you put it in. If you put your deck in ChatGPT.
George, that's such a genius idea.
That is a genius idea.
That's great content.
If you don't create that idea before this goes live, then you're missing out.
Can I just say, I'm amazing. I'm so good at content. I even need to practice that you two idiots do. I just go shoot my shot.
I bet you that's not even that hard of a thing to do. You just give a ranking to each card. Josh,
I wouldn't even give it's more interesting content to let ChatGPT figure it out and comment on why the answer exists. Just give me the deck list.
Does EDH Rec have a I bet you could use the EDH Rec salt score to justify the numbers and then just run the deck list and do a scale. You should do this. If we don't have that done by Friday, I don't know, like, what are you programming? You must have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, some of us.
Are you even really a CEO?
Are you talking to me or George?
Definitely talking to Josh.
That's not happening.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, I think they should separate the CDH ban list too. I think that should happen. That should be its own format. I just don't think you can ban cards I don't know. I just don't think. I think that should be 2 different formats.
Yeah, it really, and that makes a lot of sense. I mean, we're commenting on the world that we live in, but the world that we like, it doesn't make any sense to take your casual people and force them to live behind the same wall of everyone who's. It's not a power level discussion. Your goal is to break the game.
Yeah.
Like that's what you want to do. Like, and those two things don't exactly mix. Don't you think, though, the couple times I've sat down to play Commander, my only comment is that the game does go on a long time. And then banning fast starts feels not great. Like, that I didn't understand either. The game lasts Commander games last a long time, dude.
I get it. I know. Not if you play with higher power level cards.
Not anymore. You don't need fast mana. They took it all away.
I mean, I think usually in Commander 2, like the fast start person either gets completely destroyed really quickly by the other 3 people, or they just win really quickly. And that's where I'm like, man, okay, so you let people play with these decks, and then you just say, all right, can we play another game? And you play a different deck, and then you play another game with a different deck. But I don't know.
It doesn't feel great to just burn 30 minutes, though. I mean, we knew of another TCG where it's like you sat down and you just had an auto loss. You had to burn 30 minutes before you asked, hey, can we play something else? Like,
yeah,
that's not fun.
No, I agree. I think this stuff gets more and more prevalent too as Magic gets bigger and as you get more and more cards in the pool. And I don't really understand Nadu to be honest. Like nobody explained that one to me.
Nadu was a play pattern in my opinion. It's really annoying to play against, and like you sit there and just watch the spot removal. I learned this week, and I learned this when I played Commander with you guys. I played a couple spot removal spells, and I was like, "What's that doing in your deck?" I'm like, for situations like this. Apparently, spot removal is not popular in Commander. So Nadu can just sit there forever and be really boring. But
what do you mean by spot removal as opposed to
single target? Hey, remove this one thing.
I think that's relatively popular, especially like artifact enchantment removal is pretty important.
Yeah, I'm creature though, not a
a target creature is probably pretty low power. Like what is it? Mortify or murder?
Mortify is creature.
Are you running murder in your Commander deck?
Hey, first of all, murder's a fun thematic card. It's the first card I ever gave my daughter, and I didn't realize what it was, and now I regret it.
Interesting. Yeah. Anyway, this is huge news. Is the community overreacting to this?
No.
No?
No.
I think they're underreacting.
Oh, okay.
I can add, I don't know any of the reactions.
It's been pretty visceral.
I have no idea what the reactions were, but I'm assuming they're underreacting because I always overreact.
This is the way I put it this week, this is what I expected the reaction to Magic 30th to be.
Oh, okay. So like, Magic 30th reaction was way
Magic 30th was terrible and horrible for the game. And like the people who were really tuned in noticed and were very upset. But this one went far wider because it hit Commander directly.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I think this one people care about. I mean, like, listen, Magic 3 was a bunch of YouTubers whining at each other for 2 weeks nonstop that nobody caring as a really great podcast host predicted.
That's not true.
But I mean,
it was one YouTuber predicting that the boxes would constantly go up in value.
And they basically have. And more than MSRP.
And then they crash.
Yeah. Oof.
No, they're doing fine. And like
this actually affects clue. George has absolutely
no clue.
No idea.
MTG 30 box. All right, George, what's your guess? Give us your thought about
1,300.
Wait,
1,300.
It was at 1,800, and you were lauding the success. You said it was almost double.
Here we go. 30th anniversary TCG player. Yeah, wow, it's pretty close actually. 1,200.
Boom!
It's down 600
bucks. A little casual 20% gain over the sale price. Pretty good. Pretty good. It's all going to zero. It's George getting. Just hold on.
The best part is he's whining and nobody can hear him.
It got all edited out though. It was like it's like the internet thought he said some nasty words. It's great. The
internet knew how bad his take was. I bet, you know what? I bet this happens a lot during the MetaZoo section too. There's
George,
just
why don't you take a deep breath, buddy, and calm down, and we'll move on to Mystery Booster 2.
Hold on. Are we just going to gloss over the fact that you're not jumping on the conspiracy theories? I thought you would be
I already
all about
said this
them.
in my video about. Well, this goes into Mystery Booster 2 with the festival in the box. That Wizards dumped all their Lost Caverns of Ixalan.
And
Masters.
You were the first person I thought of.
It does not look good. I will give them that. I bought 15 Festival in a boxes with the justification.
Oh my god!
The justification that I would sell the Commander Masters and Lost Caverns of Ixalan packs in store and Wilds. The Wilds packs. I was out of Lost Caverns. I had plenty of Commander Masters, but I was out of Wild, and that I used that as the justification, and I got hosed. Because now nobody wants those. Like, imagine you buy a $65 Commander Masters collector pack and you pull a Jeweled Lotus.
There are other hits in that pack though. It just feels really bad to hit the biggest one. It just I did a flip it or rip it with a guy a couple months ago, and he won the Jeweled Lotus from the pack. Did not get ripped, but his value was more, and he got to keep the Jeweled Lotus. And I texted him. I said, "Hey, I think I actually won that one." But, yeah, I thought for sure you would be. You crossed my mind for the store losses, and you crossed my mind because I'm like, oh, the conspiracy theories here. Yeah. Because they came out and saying, hey, we work with Wizards of the Coast with all of our bans. Then people were tracking like recent sales of these things before the ban. I thought for sure you would be all over that.
I don't get into that side of like the conspiracy of like if the guy on the rules committee wants to sell if the guy on the rules committee wants to sell his $1,000 worth of Nadus or Dockside
$1,000 worth of Nadus, that's a lot of bird.
Before they tank him, like, I don't know. Have it, buddy. Like,
do you have Twitter on your phone right now?
No, I do not.
That's why. If you had Twitter, this would be such a fun conversation. Get Twitter back. You're boring without Twitter.
No, I do fully believe that Wizards knew this banning was happening and they dumped their Commander Masters and Lost Caverns. I always wondered, why are they putting those packs in these things? It makes no sense.
It's hard not to think because the conversation was we've been in conversation with Wizards of the Coast over the past year about potential plans.
And like it makes no sense why those packs were in demand. They were like it makes no I mean it looks bad.
I just figured it out. Yeah. Rhystic Studies in Wilds of Eldraine. Rhystic Studies was on the chopping block. It was on the block and they decided not to ban it.
That could be true.
I just figured it out.
That could be true.
This is like the Da Vinci Code, George. This is my moment.
They're like, you can't ban Rhystic. It would make it too obvious.
But
we overshot.
You can't hit all 3 packs.
I don't know. I think that part sucks. Like that there's people who like got to be upset by that. I should be more upset than I am.
The number of polls that you saw popping up online of like, hey, got my Jeweled Lotus just in time. Like, man.
I loved all the people like, how much money did I lose? How much? Like, I love it. All right, Mystery Booster 2, though. Let's go to slightly, in my opinion, more positive. Mystery Booster 2 is looking really, really good. 1 foil per box on average. I opened 3 boxes. I had 1 box with 0 foils, which would have felt really bad if I didn't have another box with 2 foils.
Dang.
Yeah.
You had a box with that sucks.
Yeah. But
wait, there's no foils?
There's only 1 foil per box, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, Magic heard. The fear of sorcery is real. They decided.
Interesting.
No, stop it.
Wow.
Listen, that's what the streets are saying.
I know that's what the streets are saying.
Is it really? Wait, are you serious? Is someone saying that?
No, I did.
Yes, Louis.
I encourage you.
I did get a message that said Magic screws up all the bannings. Sorcery printed like 0 boxes. Your week must be really busy this week. I said, yeah. Unfortunately, I'm busy with other things. But
Yeah, unfortunately, he's not busy with a bunch of good stuff.
Mystery Booster, though, up to 315 on TCG Player.
Yeah.
People, I mean, everybody I've talked to who has opened Mystery Booster, everybody I've talked to who has done anything with it have been like, I want more. I wish I would have ordered way more. It'll be really interesting to see if we see more Mystery Booster 2, or I guess not if, but more when we see more Mystery Booster 2. Because right now it seems like the fire.
It's products like this are just good. It's an 1800 card set or something too. So it's like
It is sorcery.
you're just gonna keep going back for more. Like, God, it's a good product.
Banana Stan texted me, and they went super heavy on it. And he
Oh,
texted me,
no.
he pulled the foil Urza Lord High Officer. And
Really?
yeah, it's like a $600 card. I was super jealous.
Oh my gosh, there's a Kark Clan Ironworks in here. What?
Yeah, dude, there's all sorts of random stuff. I love it.
There's just stuff in these boxes, man.
But those future sight cards are, the foils for them are going nuts. Like the Urza is a $500 card. It's cool. It's fun. I like this kind of stuff. This is the type of thing that, like, I wish Magic could. I guess I don't want them to do more of. I like it when they do it, and I don't want them to overdo it. Like, this is there's a line here, right? Like, I said this with Time Spiral Remastered. I absolutely love Time Spiral Remastered, and then Dominaria Remastered came out. They way overdid it. Like, the collector packs, they ruined the foil multiplier. Like, this is the stuff that gets me excited. I just really like the chase foil type thing.
If you're not buying 100 copies of White Border Whiteout,
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Wait, are you even a Magic player?
Do you know what the art on that card is?
No. What's it called?
It's Whiteout from Mystery Booster 2. It's maybe the greatest card ever.
Whiteout, Magicthegathering.
Oh, I can't wait for this moment.
I'm still looking for it.
Oh man, my gosh.
That's a lot of whiteouts. I'm gonna search it. Whiteout mystery.
It is
Whiteout, white border. Here it is, everybody. Oh, that's amazing.
Is that not the coolest thing, George? It's just the card with a white box where the art normally is.
You could pretty easily buy that out.
Yeah, this card's pretty sweet. It doesn't do anything. It's a terrible card, but gosh, it's cool.
Josh is gonna throw that next to all of his foil sharks in the background.
That and foil sharks and foil charms from Streets of New Capenna. Still the best set ever.
I still hate the white border.
George, get him. Don't let him do this.
I love white border.
It's just not my
I love white border.
God, his takes are bad. The internet just knows his takes are bad. George, every time you say anything, it's coming in as a robot.
Yeah, in the middle of nowhere. Well, if it helps any, in 5 miles it won't.
This podcast has gone so far downhill. We're on our way back up. It is amazing. When you go this far downhill, eventually the momentum just skyrockets you up.
There's nowhere else to go.
Logan Paul, we're
MetaZoo's back and we're back.
Rudy's
back and so are we.
Rudy's making a video. May the zoo be with you. Bounced off the bottom, baby. It bounced. We hit the bottom and we've ricocheted.
I know you're never supposed to call the floor. This is it, baby. Get your May the Zoo be sit with you stock in. We've got a meme coin launching next week. What's that?
Robo George is as low as it goes.
It's an NFT of George. It's going to be launching on the, I don't know, BS network next week. This is your time.
The NFT is George wearing exactly as many clothes as he is right now.
All right, let's talk about the Sorcery release.
Hot.
Sorcery is
How does he come in crystal clear for the 30-second groan?
okay. I have some. Sorcery is supposed to launch a week from this Friday when this podcast airs.
I'm crying.
We do finally have allocations. Most stores got allocated like 60% is kind of what I'm hearing across the board. And here's the thing. I do not have tracking yet. As of the timing of this video, Distro had not have tracking yet. And importantly, there's a massive storm about to hit the southern side of the United States.
Hold on.
Which is where my warehouse is, by the way.
Time out.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
MetaZoo's back, and there's a sorcery delay. We're so bad.
Importantly, I think the sorcery delay might be regional based. If there is, I'm not saying there is a delay.
Here we go. Here we go.
I am speculating that there is a potential for there to be a delay because of the hurricane that George is driving into right now.
I'm going to do the fans a service right now and ask,
I love
where did they print their boutique cards?
No, the cards are here. The cards are in the United States for
That's
sure.
not what I asked you. Where did they print their boutique card game?
China.
All right, I've brought us all the way back. We're here, baby.
I don't think that I'm still holding out.
Yeah.
I'm supposedly having my event. We'll see what happens.
I'm having some fun. There's no confirmation of delays. We're joking around.
Yeah. There's no confirmation. I'm just saying that Distro has to get the product, and that can be different for each warehouse, right? And my warehouse is in Florida. That's where I'm getting my product from. So there is a less than 0% chance that this storm really does affect shipping and UPS and tracking and all that stuff for a decent amount of people. But I think for the vast majority of people, they'll be able to enjoy it on release day. But that is,
and we know that because Distro didn't have the boxes yet, right?
No, they don't have the boxes yet.
Okay, so there's no way to know if they're on time. In fact, we know that Distro does not have the boxes yet, according to you.
I know that Distro does not. Yeah, today.
Is that Scooby?
Okay.
No, it's not Scooby. Everybody knows that. Everybody's been texting me. Do you have your PO yet? Do you have your PO yet?
Facebook, so it's a Scooby.
I paid.
So you say it'll likely be on time. That's just Louis guessing.
I finished paying today, I should say.
That doesn't mean you're getting your boxes. You just got scammed. You got mic'd. You got Mike Waddell.
Oh no!
Hold on. That's not fair. He's gonna get him this calendar year.
I'm trying to think if I ever sent Mike Waddell that much money. I don't think I did.
Oh yeah, I absolutely did.
That's
100%.
Did you at least get to pick a bumper sticker for the Lambo?
I got CN2 boxes at the wazoo, baby.
I think it'll be really fun. I mean, it's gonna mean people are gonna be opening packs before other people potentially. It's gonna be really fun to watch people cracking this for the first time. That's the fun of sorcery. You don't get to see it often enough. It took a whole year for another set, so you got a whole nother thing of chases with the curios and the super fun.
What?
I could not disagree with you more on this point.
Why?
This is such a terrible take.
Part of the magic of sorcery is that release, taking you back to this isn't Magic nowadays when the Pinkertons hand deliver you the boxes 3 weeks
You're
early.
not going to watch a video first. You're going to open your own box, but watching people discover new things is fun.
That's gonna that happens with every TCG release. So every TCG release is fun.
Not Magic. In Magic, it's every day there's a new release. So you can't keep up with it. So
I think it might be less than every day, just for posterity.
And the whole set is spoiled before launch anyway. So you already know what you're looking for. There's no super chase.
Well, that's not true. Duskborn, we didn't know all the different variants in the collector box. That was all spoiled when we opened the collector box.
Importantly, we didn't know, but there's definitely people who knew.
Well, yeah, they're on the Commander Rules Committee, and they got to sell their stuff early.
People knew. They read. Those people read. We don't do that or do our research.
Damn right.
It's difficult.
Damn right.
My point still is part of the magic of sorcery is taking you back to that old school TCG.
Yeah, I agree.
Singular release, and if the releases regionally delayed, or some people get it sooner, and there's not a clear, concise, like, this is our release date. Go to your game store. This is the release date. The whole world is celebrating Sorcery, or the Americas. I know we don't understand the Japanese market, but you're celebrating on that day. Then you're missing part of that. And if you're only doing it once a year, missing part of that is not the best.
Sure, but if that actually happens, which is an if right now, it's also not Sorcery's fault that there's a hurricane. Like that's not.
I would agree with you a lot more if Distro had their boxes.
Yeah, but exactly.
They have the PO, George. They have the PO. So like the boxes are.
So they bought them. They don't have them, and that's not Sorcery's fault.
I mean, like, you can't control. I'm saying
that's a bold take.
I'm saying my warehouse doesn't have the boxes yet. I don't know about the other warehouses.
They were open today. Your Distro was.
Yeah, but my point is it's not Sorcery's fault if there's a huge hurricane on the release week of their game.
I totally.
I don't think people will blame Sorcery if the box is delayed because of the hurricane blocking their UPS. I'm saying Distro could have had their boxes by now.
Sure.
And also, this is just another reason why it's hard to only take one bite at the release apple a year, because when Mother Nature can disrupt the plan, it makes it less of a big hurrah.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Right?
That's fair. Those of you who reach out to me before you finalize your travel plans. I am a little bit anxious about it. But it is what it is.
I think it'll be fine if it helps any.
Yeah, I do too. But yeah.
They're in Orlando. They're inland. They're in Orlando. They're inland. They'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Lorcana at GTS. This has been great for stores. So Lorcana got picked up by a third distro, which is GTS, which I don't know. George, do you know what GTS stands for?
Greatest Thunderdome series.
Josh, you want to take a stab at it?
Not after that one. I don't want to follow that act. Came in loud and clear on that one, George.
Was I right?
No, definitely not. Thunderdome? Where did Thunderdome come from?
Who knows? Who knows?
Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Greatest seems probably accurate.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't have a better T.
Yeah, no, that's because there is none.
Good, tough stuff.
Yeah, mine's definitely better.
George went with greatest. What'd you go with? Greatest Thunderdome something?
Greatest Thunderdome series.
And I went with giant triumphant Sasquatch. And Louis said good, tough stuff. Okay.
I'm looking it up. They don't have it in their mission statement.
Somebody just got their GTS out today.
All right, Banana Stand, put in the comment section what GTS stands for.
I think my rep actually listens to the podcast, so if you want to text me, then let me know. I would love to know what GTS stands for.
And if the S is Sasquatch, you owe me a box.
If it's Greatest Thunderdome series, you owe me a lot. And if not, you should change what it stands for to that.
I'll let you use the name for free. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh wait, I wonder if their LinkedIn has it.
So the big pushback I got for all Lorcana content was always it's going to another distributor.
I know it. It's not on the screen. But I saw something that tells me what it is. Wait, hold on. I lost it.
Oh, it already sounds lame.
Game transportation supply.
Oh.
Is that not the arcade rev share of distro?
Yeah, but if his name was AKR,
the only thing worse would be like naming it like Kitchen Table Games. Like, what do you do?
If it was ARS, it would be a great business name, but it's arcade.
That's 100% true. It's 100% true.
I'm going game transportation services.
You're not going with that. That's what it is.
No. It's not on here. I just looked up GTS and it said industry transportation, and I was like, oh, the T is definitely transportation. So nobody
believes you.
It's not on there.
Nobody
believes you.
No, hold on. you're downplaying this. You did Google and then read the name, so we're very proud of you.
That's true.
I went
That's a
to
step.
I went to their LinkedIn. It's the first time I've ever been on LinkedIn.
I have a LinkedIn.
God.
I do not have a LinkedIn.
That's because you don't have a job.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a business owner.
Yeah.
Eh.
At this point, debatable. If anybody's looking to hire, reach out to me.
Can we go to me at CaptainsMarket.com?
Oh my God! Can you use your website to host this resume, George?
Yes.
Please.
Slugandblood.com is just Louis' resume. Oh, that'd be so good.
They'd love it. All right. Anyway, GTS, Gaming Transportation Supply, the distributor, got
Greatest Thunderdome system.
Got access to Lorcana, and then instantly Lorcana boxes became $8 cheaper for stores.
Yup.
I was like, I reached out to my other reps. I was like, hey, what the heck? I was like, what were you guys doing? It's crazy.
What do you mean they were upcharging you? I thought you were here.
The 3-party system definitely works better for the people. Everybody,
You were paying the mouse tax, buddy.
Anyway, this set is going to be interesting. I don't know what supply will look like at GTS, but they definitely made the price go down at all 3 distros.
So shed some light on this for me.
Mm-hmm.
Lorcana is at a 3rd distro. Does that mean Ravensburger printed more boxes or distributed the boxes differently?
Probably distributed them differently, is my guess.
Because the whole screaming world that hates Lorcana is saying they're at a 3rd distro, so watch out.
Does that group exist?
Yeah. Listen, as someone who actually makes Lorcana content, you should try it. It pumps.
When's the last time you made a Lorcana video?
I make one every week or 2. What's wrong with that? Why you hate it? Why you hate it?
I'm surprised I make more Star Wars videos.
Respect the House of Mouse. Respect the House of Mouse, dude.
Wait, we talking about the Marvel release from Magic.
Well, it's not real, so there's nothing actually. It would be wild speculation. Why would we do that? Josh, continue your thought. Sorry, I just was.
No, I was curious because I don't think Lorcana needs more boxes. I don't think they're in a position where they need that. So does the 3rd distributor mean that, or is it just a redistribution of the existing?
No.
So
redistribution.
Obviously speculation.
So importantly, there are stores who don't have Peach State or Southern and do have GTS. I don't know how many that there are, but there are. This will open up the door to potentially other stores who couldn't carry Lorcana carrying Lorcana, which is a win. I think that's a huge win.
Sure.
For Lorcana.
That's not. Yeah, I'm not saying this is I'm asking. Yeah. Does it mean more printing or a redistribution of the existing printing? Because in my opinion, I'll say this up front. I got in front of it. I don't think Lorcana needs more boxes. I think they're doing a great job of being accessible. They're being on shelves, which I think is where it shines, while also like maybe printing the most that you should per set based on just the price of the box on the secondary market.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So does it mean more boxes? Is this doom and gloom? Or does it mean same amount of boxes? I
would say this is the same amount of boxes. I think probably the other distros saw the ordering going down. Yeah. And so then they order less. And then, Ravensburg sees their orders go down and they say, hey, GTS, you want some boxes? And GTS is like, yeah, but we have to charge less for them. So then Ravensburger charges, and then, yeah.
So that was my hunch as well, because it didn't make sense to bring another distributor into the fold and ramp up your printing when it feels like you're printing enough.
Yeah. It's good. It's now at the point where stores are ordering just the amount of boxes they want for their actual store. Which every game needs to get to that point.
Yeah.
And eventually they do, and that's where Lorcana is. The free tendies, as they call them, are gone.
What?
Now it's just the hard-working tendies.
So George will bail out, and he'll move on to the next one.
Amen. On to the next one. I was getting the Marvel Magic all set up. How many games will Bob Iger save? That's my only question to you guys. Like, Bob Iger just saves every TCG.
I cannot wait for the Marvel set to flop. I know it won't flop, but
Like,
now I want
yeah.
that.
Like Bob Iger, just like this is now basically a Bob Iger podcast.
Who?
Nope, definitely is not. Anything else to say about Lorcana on GTS?
I mean, go ahead, George.
Next set's 1K. Next set to 1K.
Well, selling my boxes.
Speaking of 1K, George, how are your 1K MetaZoo boxes doing?
Doing great. Doing great. We're still back.
Are
New
we?
teams looking awesome, taking shape. Yeah.
Is it?
Taking shape.
Yeah, they're taking shape. They're getting ready. They're ready to seize the day.
Shape of, bought the IP and left.
No, they're just getting ready. Everybody's very excited.
So this is lifting MetaZoo is such a hard task. They're stretching beforehand. Is what I'm picking up on.
A lot of MetaZoo stuff sold this week. I will say that. A lot of like grails have sold this week.
Grails. God, what's a MetaZoo grail?
Autographed sample cards, original art.
You can own a TCG Grail for the price of a jeweled lotus.
Like a lot of high. Like I mean, there's been several 4-figure sales.
All right. There's been a first edition box sold at $85, and then another box sold. Another box sold at
That ain't a grail. That ain't a grail.
$200. I have to say, it is wild that people are still paying $1,000 for a Kickstarter box.
I think it's still cheap.
You do not.
Kickstarter,
No, you do not.
Kickstarter to 1K.
If you
George,
still have,
Come on, done.
George, I got some Monarch I'd like to sell you.
if you still had any Kickstarter, you would sell it for 1K.
I have 7 Kickstarter still, 9 Kickstarter still.
Sure, I'm sure you do, buddy.
I have 3. All right, next week remind me on the podcast. I'm bringing them all on. I think I have 3 of them. 3 of them are non-sequential. Whatever they're called.
This is holding up my magic stuff down there. I will sell it to you for $1,000.
If George doesn't show up with 7,
I think it's 7.
if George doesn't show up with 7 Kickstarter boxes next week, then he has to, I don't know, play a game of Commander with us.
And what happens if I do?
I'm out.
If you do, you win. I don't know. Isn't that enough for you?
No. I've already won so much the last few weeks on this podcast. I need something else now.
I will say that our views were through the roof last week. Like,
Of course, MetaZoo is back, baby.
we had
They know.
we had an extra 1,000 views last week.
And I want to give a shout to Andrew Stacks. I forgot to mention him last week. Going, no is as thrilled as I am that we're back, baby. Andrew Smith is pumped. Stacks is pumped. Baby, we are back.
All the Andrews very happy.
I love that back is hopefully they tear down everything
You're
that
not
has done and build it up from the
Why
ground.
are we even talking?
No!
About this?
This is amazing.
I love that that's back.
Let's move on.
What fast food restaurant do you think they should partner with first? That's my only question for you.
I bet. Hold on. I bet they tweet about them all. I bet they tweet
No.
about all.
They
Hey,
better.
McDonald's.
That's a tradition.
Mike's gone. All right, let's talk about the secret Shosh.
Where is he?
I don't want to know.
I kind of do. What does that guy's day-to-day look like right now?
I just want him to reach out to me and tell me I'm banned, finally.
You guys have 12 minutes before I gotta go, by the way.
Well, let's get to the secret Shosh. George has been driving without a shirt on this entire time.
You're really good at the secret Shosh now.
That's
really good.
that's how I say secret and how I say Shosh.
Honey, you want the barbecue Shosh?
Shorts has been
It's
driving
like Sean Connery.
Shorts has been driving without a shirt on all day.
Yeah, the
Now.
shirt didn't work because it's already there.
The shirt. How do you make that not sh? It's just shit. All right, George has been driving without a shirt on
What?
this entire time. Is that weird or
If you
not?
stayed this long for the podcast, you deserve to know. He's not driving. He's in a hot tub. This is a hot tub stream right now. We're so popular on Twitch, you don't even realize. This is the George Went hot tub stream.
I will never forget the pandemic.
I booked
What?
my vacation. I'm so ready for the hot tub.
George, you should hot tub stream from your vacation.
You should hot tub stream. May the zoo be with you.
In fact, if you don't do that,
You guys don't deserve that
if you
content.
don't do that with your kick
demographic.
boxes floating in the hot tub, then you're dead to me.
Just CN2 on little rafts.
I have a ton of wilderness still. I could definitely be cracking some wilderness in the hot
Hold
tub.
on. Should it not be a hot tub? Should it just be a pool of wilderness?
Okay, back to the secret sauce. Is driving without your shirt on weird?
Yes. What? Is this
No!
a conversation?
This is what freedom feels like.
George,
This
it's 10 o'clock.
This is freedom.
10 o'clock at night. It's pitch black.
If you get pulled over, you're going to jail.
Pitch black up. Somebody passes
Not if
George.
it's a female cop.
Somebody passes George and looks over and sees a now skinny man with his fat just floating around.
George, you're gonna end up on a list. Like,
I have pants on.
I don't think
For
that
now?
helps. I mean, I guess it does, but
George, is it because you lost weight that you're now driving shirtless, or do you always drive shirtless?
Oh no. I think being fatter actually makes driving shirtless feel better.
really, hold on. Hold on.
Yeah.
Expand on that.
I like that.
So like the problem with losing weight is you're cold all the time.
Hmm.
Like I am way colder now than I was 3 months ago.
I've been skinny in years, so I can't tell you.
That's fair.
I always loved driving with my shirt on. This is freedom. I wish it was a little bit like less gross out, so I could have my window down, get the cool air blowing against my fake hair.
Oh, we know.
Maybe that's good living.
Wait, I thought you shaved. The wind's blowing through your hair?
I said fake hair.
Oh, fake hair. Okay.
All right.
So
I might
if
go
you
to
get
Turkey
super
later and give
skinny,
me some hair plug.
Are you joining the toupee life? You get super skinny, or the hair restoration? life?
No. I think to me, like I will say it. If you do it, I support you. You're a beautiful, independent man or woman. Live your truth. I am a big believer in aging gracefully. I don't do the no Botox. I'm not doing the hair plugs. I'm like whatever the Lord wants me to look like. That's what I'm going to look like.
Did you say you're a big believer in aging gracefully?
Yes.
What the hell are you doing then?
I don't know.
Have you seen me? I look great, especially this week.
So old.
Okay. I wanted the record to be shown. I don't think it's acceptable to drive without a shirt on if you're over the age of 19.
16?
19.
Your driving age?
I think,
What? That's crazy.
I think over 19, it's like, unless it's like 110 degrees.
You're a high school athlete leaving practice.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
you know
basically what I am.
back when you played the Brontosaurus for the state championship.
I was an all-state clarinetist, I'll have you know.
Not
That's
sports.
actually-
Importantly, that's not a sport. Did you play that without your shirt?
No.
No, he'd be on the same list. But you can't just drive without a shirt.
I was in the marching band, the jazz band, and the orchestra band.
I was in the jazz band. Jazz band was fun. Hey, if it was 10 in the morning, are you driving without a shirt, or is this a time thing?
I think it's when he's driving a long distance.
Yeah, if you're driving for more than 2 hours, you should be without a shirt.
So you're in rush hour bumper to bumper traffic. Stop.
No, that's different. That's different.
Okay.
I think if somebody can see you, that's creepy.
It makes it acceptable. What's the congestion?
I think if people can see you, you should have a shirt on. I think if people can see you reasonably, you should have a shirt on.
So everyone that passes you tonight gets to be.
I am kind of sad that we don't have a video of somebody passing George right now in the shirt. That would have been really good.
Look on social media. Hey, I passed this creepy guy on the highway last night.
Okay, everybody. Go subscribe to Josh's channel over at Hometown TCG.
More important than that, wear your shirts when you drive. Just
also, we made it through.
Great.
Yep.
Good. Love to hear from you, George.
And we made it through a whole episode without you guys leaving me alone for a whole topic. Appreciate you all for watching, for listening.
You didn't say anything nearly as ridiculous this week.
Remember to be kind to the people around you. May the zoo be with you.
And also with you, dude.
And also with
don't know what that was.
I don't either. That was creepy.
Was that him faking an accident?
Did he actually? Do you think he actually moved?
No, that was me taking a